Hi everyone, this is Whitney coming to you from Sedona, Arizona. I felt like putting out a video to describe intuition because I've had a lot of questions lately about awakening your own intuition and what that might entail. So for starters, everyone is intuitive. We just may have more sensitivity receptors when we're born than others, but it doesn't mean that you're not intuitive. You can certainly grow, similar to how much willingness and desire that you would like to put into that action to grow your intuitive abilities. I do want to talk a little bit about some ways that we receive information from spirit, and one would be clairvoyance. So that's going to be seeing spirit clearly. And oftentimes we're not even aware of that ability. So one of the indications that you have clairvoyance can be when you are perhaps watching TV in a very dimly lit room and you see little lights, or perhaps you're not watching TV at all and it's just a dimly lit room. You'll see little balls of light or little flashes of light, and those are what we call spirit lights. And that's the easiest way that spirit can show us that they're there. You'll see that some people like to record video and capture orbs, and this would be very similar. We're just seeing it with our intuitive insight, seeing that color there, and that would be the same representation. So if you're a very visual person, chances are you have clairvoyance, or you have the ability to increase your sensitivity with clairvoyance as well. So seeing auras is also another indication of, hey, you have clairvoyance. Sometimes when we're not even paying attention, we see colors around someone, and also in a dimly lit area. Also, you could just see a whitish glow around the body. And that's going to be energy as well that you're seeing. It's not necessarily the aura, but the etheric layer of the body. So some other indications where clairvoyance might be your primary intuitive way you receive information could be if you're someone who likes to write lists down or see things in front of you to make decisions. Chances are you could really develop your clairvoyance. If you're a visual learner, or if you dream quite a bit and you remember those dreams very vividly, that's also another indication of clairvoyance. Another one that can be a little difficult to discern would be clairaudience. Clairaudience is hearing spirit clearly. And I'm laughing because I know some of you are thinking, well, I can't really clearly hear, and that's something that you can certainly work on. But some indications when someone's really developing more of their clairaudience can be when you wake up in the morning and you have a song stuck in your head, or perhaps you're falling asleep and you hear somebody say your name, or you hear a conversation. And then when you wake back up, there's nothing else that's in the room, or no one else that's in the room. Also, we receive that clairaudient message quite a bit in that right before we fall asleep and right before we wake up time period, because our mind is finally clear and is starting to let go of all of those thoughts and all of those things that we've been thinking about throughout our entire day, and finally can just have a break. And so spirit gives us those messages. But we're often tuned in to a certain frequency. So sometimes we're picking up other songs or other energetic messages. With clairaudience, you can hear what sounds like your own inner reading voice. And with your own inner reading voice, that can be challenging to discern sometimes. And one of the main indicators that it is a clairaudient message and not your own inner reading voice would be asking a question or receiving an answer very, very quickly, faster than you would be able to actually get a question out. So that would be clairaudient, something coming into you very quickly, kind of in a snap. Also, of course, you could hear voices coming from a loved one in spirit, and that can be clairaudient as well. So we also have some other ways we receive information, and lately I have a lot of clients and students that are empathic or clairsentient. So let's talk a little bit about that. We often find ourselves when we're interested in the healing profession, or we're not in the healing profession, but we just have always felt that call to help others. We'll find that we're really sensitive to other people's emotions, and sometimes way too sensitive, and we want to calm it down a bit. I definitely work with clients on how we can reroute that information, but some of us want to develop it more, and some of us just want to know what's going on. So with empathic sensitivity, if you're standing next to someone who's going through perhaps a hard time, oftentimes just standing next to them, we can feel that energy. The same applies when someone's really happy too. And even if there's not a big up and down of emotion, we can still feel what's going on in their energy system. And that would be someone who's very empathic and perhaps has no protection around them and is just open, wide open. So a couple things about that. With being empathic, it's important to set boundaries around your aura. And so what I like to encourage others to do is to pick a color that feels protective to them. And imagine that that color is surrounding the energy and about 2 feet in every direction. And outside of that energy is a little bit harder so that we have some protection, but it's still porous, so it can let good things in, but heavy things don't come in. And just really beam your energy out. The more you beam your energy out, you are displaying your energy. And so when our others are with us, we have a buffer of what is your energy versus what their energy is. So that's what I mean by protection, as far as I'm really pushing my energy out and I'm feeling confident and stable in who I am and what my energy feels like, so that I can go around into the shopping malls and elevators and even be in my own home with my family and still feel my emotion and my energy. And why this is happening is because our mind, our emotions, and our thoughts are outside of our body, and it's different than the brain. So we're actually displaying these things in what a lot of people refer to as our aura. And so we're picking up on those things. So that's one of the little protection techniques that you can use. Also, we can feel information from spirit as well. So with feeling information, oftentimes we'll perhaps be talking with our spirit guides, or maybe we don't even know we're talking with our spirit guides, and we are contemplating a decision, and we will just have a feeling of which way to go. So we'll have a feeling of going right, feeling going left, feeling yes, this is the right decision, or no, this is not the right decision. And we'll feel it in our gut. We'll just have that knowing. Oftentimes too, the way I experience clairsentience is when I'm doing a reading and there's something going on in that person's body. I can feel a blockage of energy. Also, if a spirit wants to tell me how they've passed, oftentimes I feel something in the body, tightness perhaps, and I can feel their message. I can also feel spirit's emotion too of what they're trying to convey. And so if you are a feeler, perhaps you feel presence with you when you're in a room. Perhaps when you think of a loved one who's passed on, you can just feel their presence or feel the emotion. That would be an indication of clairsentience. Also, of course, if you're feeling other people around you too, you can feel their energy and knowing that that's how you can receive messages. So clairsentience and empathic abilities lately, I have seen a lot of clients come to me with this and wanting to know what is it and how can I protect myself. So also, I did want to talk about a couple other ways we can receive information, and this could be your intuitive language, is claircognizance. Claircognizance is different than clairsentience. So claircognizance would be clear knowing. And that can be challenging sometimes because we didn't feel the message, we didn't hear it, and we didn't see it. With claircognizance, we just know something to be true, and then oftentimes we take action on that knowing. And sometimes we're not even asking for the answer, we just inherently know, and then you take action. So that is a claircognizance moment. I remember, and I use this often in my classes, and if mom's watching, hi mom, but I'm going to use her for an example. So we had the opportunity to adopt 2 dogs, and they were highly sought after dogs. They were rescue, but they were long-haired Chihuahuas, and they came in a pair. And there was a lengthy interview process, and there were several other people lined up for these little baby Chihuahuas. And we went to get interviewed, and they said, thank you. We do have some other families we're talking with. And being in rescue, I knew that was true. You have to interview, and I know that these little Chihuahuas were very wanted by other families. Anyway, after the interview process, my mom immediately went to the pet store and started buying toys. And I said, gosh, what are you doing? We haven't been told that we're going to adopt these dogs. And she said, I just know we're going to have them. And so she was taking action. That would be a claircognizance moment. So thanks, Mom, for contributing today, even though you didn't know that I was going to talk about that. But that's another example, and that can be very interesting. And so the point of addressing some of these main ways we receive information is for you to become more aware. So oftentimes with claircognizance, we don't feel energy as much, or perhaps if it's combined with another language, you do. But it's more of that integration feeling. We can also smell when spirit's around. So sometimes we might smell perfume of our loved ones who've passed, or perhaps their favorite dish that they like to bake or make. And that can be a nice, heartwarming moment when we have that smell. And smell usually triggers quite a bit of emotion, or quite a bit of memories as well. And so that's what we call clairaudience. Clairgustance would be clear taste. Sometimes we'll be tasting what others have made in spirit, and that's kind of a reminder of a memory. So those are different ways we can also receive information. I remember I was doing a reading on someone, and I had this very weird taste on my mouth, and it tasted like a combination of tang and lemonade and tea, or something of that sort. And the woman said, yes. I think it was her father or grandfather saying, oh my gosh, he made this very strange concoction. Yes, I know what you're talking about. So those are some of the ways that spirit can communicate with us. I encourage you to be very aware and sensitive to those messages that they give. One of the ways that you can increase your intuitive awareness would be to sit with spirit, I would say at least 5 minutes a day. And by doing that, we eliminate all distractions, turning your phone off, turning the TV off, and just going quiet and clearing the mind. We want to get into that place where it's similar to right before we wake up and right after, or right before we fall asleep, and just being in that very in tune place. And then just call on your spirit guides and ask them to give you messages. And then see what you feel, hear, or sense. And those are some of the ways that we can increase our intuition. We all have it. It just takes some desire and willingness to make contact with spirit. Also, if you're interested, I do have an intuitive development workshop in Sedona in April, and I have another one in November. And I also have a passion of working with clients one-on-one, or perhaps in a group coaching method. And you can find out more by going to messengerofspirit.com. So thank you so much. Hi, everyone. It was very nice to see you, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.